Hello together, this is Christian Schütte again from sapXPerience, and I would like to share some hints and tips and experiences for working with the S4HANA Data Migration Cockpit Converter. After you have downloaded the Data Migration Cockpit Converter, you will find this file structure when you have unzipped the download file, and I want to show you several things. So first of all, if you open the Data Migration Cockpit Converter, we do have these two sheets, the conversion matrix and the special routines. So first of all, I give you a more deep insight to the special routines. So everything starting with a 1 is doing a conversion, rounding, also decimal transformation towards the setting which is required and how you did set the decimal point or comma in your system. And then we do have rounding routines, which is rounding up 1 digit after the decimal, 2 digits, 3 digits, and this is continuing up to 24 digits with adding the respective character after the 1. Second is extracting the street from the address if street and house number is in one field in your legacy system. Same is for the house number. The 3 is for placing a fixed value. Fixed value means in this column a fixed value if there is no value coming in your legacy file for this particular field. The 4 is that you can replace a value, a fixed value, like if you put a 4 here, so every region code would be replaced with a DE. And if there is no field content in your legacy file, nothing will happen. So only the records coming with the content in this field will get this fixed value. I change it back to 3. Then we do have date conversions, which is date conversion from day, month, year to a version without points. Then you can extract the year, the month, the day, which is for construction year required or for construction months, for example, in equipment, or maybe from your legacy system, the date is coming with hours, minutes, and seconds. So you can cut off this by using the routine 5K or converting those into a format with slashes for the date. 6 is for removing spaces, like I did show in the intro for the telephone number. So the second thing is, how do you transfer from your source templates the fields into this converter? This is quite easy. So if you want to append another object, you just go down to the end of the entries which are there, and then you can open the source file, and in your source template we can use as an example the equipment one. And what is very important is that you pay attention to the version, that the version of the load template is the one which is compliant with the S4HANA version you're introducing, because the load templates may change from SAP version and release to another one. So make sure you always work with the latest downloaded template, which is compliant with your version. The second thing is how to transfer the fields. So what I always recommend in these templates, display rows 4 to 6, because there you do have the field names which are available in the template, which is much easier to work with those instead of working with the descriptions, which are quite cryptic from my point of view. So if you want to transfer a new load template content to the S4HANA data migration cockpit converter, you can simply select all the field names in the field names row, copy those, go to the converter and insert content with the transpose function and only values. So in that case, you have transferred all field names already. Second thing, what you need to transfer is also the sheet name of the target, which you can do again by copying, pasting values, and if you have transferred the fields, you can just fill down, and again you end up at the end of the fields already transferred. The same you do for the next sheet. Copy, and insert content, transpose, and again copy the sheet name and enter the sheet name as well. Fill down, and the last sheet we do have is this one. Copy, paste content, and transfer the sheet name. Fill it and fill it down. And what the next thing you should do is you should give a name to this. I've used already E1, so I would just name it E2 equipment. And after this, you straight can start to map your source, which requires that you use the sheet name if you're from your extracted data. So I will use this as a sample. This is customer, if this would be equipment. So you just transfer this sheet name again by copying it. And you can fill it down accordingly. And next thing is simply to also transfer the field names. So like just copy paste and so on. And then you can apply, if you, for example, have the equipment and a certain equipment type, you can apply the number because you want to have, sorry, it should be just the content. So if you want to place a fixed value like equipment type 2, You can just do it like this and say, okay, I want to occur this to always when there is a number in this equipment field. So if you don't put a special routine, it will be always transferred. Then we do have this key update, which is also some kind of important if you want to use the update function. So what you find in your source file is this orange marked fields. These are the key fields for this sheet. So what you should do is mark those fields in your data migration cockpit converter as those key fields for each of those sheets. So here it's the first three, words partner, because what the update function does is looking up by the keys in each sheet which data is coming there for update and updating the respective records in the target sheet. So when you have mapped all your fields, you are done. You can save that one. You even don't need to, and you can hit F10 and you will see that this new object is appearing in the selection of the objects you want to transfer from your legacy data into your XML load sheet for this particular object. Okay, and next thing is what we also experienced is that there is a restriction from SAP Data Migration Cockpit that you can only upload files up to 160 MB. So we solve this by using Python scripts to split the input Excel. So you can simply run this Python script. There is a installation file for Python as well, and also a how-to English and German. And what you simply do is, if you want to split the Excel spreadsheet, you open your terminal and with Windows R, Command Enter, then you switch to the folder where you did save this Python file with this P epsilon as a file extension, and you run it by giving the command python split excel.py. And then the Python script will ask you to move the file to the prompt and this file, and you can choose how you want it to be splitted by lines or half. And if you then hit enter, your file will be splitted into two parts. I always used half, and that's also something what's coming with our data migration cockpit converter as an additional tool, which is maybe helpful in certain situations. So that's for the time being what I would like to share with you about the usage of the data migration cockpit converter. If you have further questions, don't hesitate to contact us. Thanks a lot and have a successful SAP S4HANA implementation.